Hi, I'm Peter Brusso for 101 Small Business Mastermind, and today we have with us Frank Syringa. Say good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
And we have HeatherJustCreate. Say good morning, Heather.
Hi, everybody.
Heather's going to be our big topic of the day.
Let's follow up on what we talked about this morning. You take action, don't you?
Yeah, I try to. I've realized on this journey that what I'm doing does not make sense, and what I'm doing is I haven't really met anyone in person aside from going to other YouTuber conventions and stuff that is doing what I'm doing. And so I going off of our conversation, I definitely get criticized and raise eyebrows, but I'm just having so much fun doing it. And based off of the data that I see and the response that I've gotten, I mean, how could I stop? It's just, it's awesome that I'm able to make an impact on people like this. So that's what keeps me going.
Congratulations.
Heather, would you share your story? I met you a month ago or so, 3 weeks, something like that, at Frank's Misfits, Rebels, Entrepreneurs. And one thing that struck me was how you got into this, that you were a digital teacher at a school. Can you tell that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I was kind of a digital teacher. I was in my 10th year of a marketing communications career. And at the time I was working at a private school for middle school to high school. And I was, the marketing communications manager. And because of the nature of my job, I was always running around with a camera, my phone. I was the first person to really bring the school online and start posting on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I even did Snapchat, which at the time, 2-3 years ago was completely like, what, you're going to put the school on Snapchat? And it was just like unheard of, but the kids had so much fun. They were just so proud that their school was, communicating in this way and keeping the conversation going and making everything fun, even though school was over. So, by seeing what I did, the kids started to come up to me with their questions about like, hey, I skateboard every day. I want to start making YouTube videos about skateboarding. Or, the juniors and the seniors started asking me, hey, how can I use LinkedIn to connect with college reps, to put together portfolio? How do I get more followers on Instagram? And that's when I was like, this is so weird that they're coming to me with these questions and that there's no teacher they can go to. There's no parent that can go to because, they don't understand it themselves. So I worked together with the journalism teacher to put together a social media curriculum for a course that was going to be offered to juniors. The board of directors approved it, but I just thought, it's not fair that this content is only being presented to these students who could afford this private school tuition. Like, why not take it online where the kids are anyway? They're all on YouTube. It's just a matter of creating the content. And when I pitched the idea to the teachers and the parents, they were like, well, we have no idea what we're doing either. We would love a resource like that. And so I set off on my journey to create Sharespark Media. And the idea behind it is to share your story. When you share your story by creating new media, you spark your potential in ways that you could have not otherwise. And I started, it was, YouTube channels to tutorials. Now I have an online course. And in the process journey from day one, sharing everything just because I genuinely find it fascinating. But I also want to show people the results of what happens when you do share your story and the potential that I talk about sparking, because it's, in this new media world, it's kind of hard to describe like the return, the reward, the ROI of what can happen when you do create new media. So that's me.
There you go. Frank, you want to jump in here?
Do you, how much have you, outside of your cell phone, your smartphone, how much have you invested in equipment to do what you're doing?
That's a good question. Outside of my cell phone, how much have I invested? Probably $50, to be perfectly just honest, because this is the camera that I use. It's just a Canon S110, and I already had it. I got this as a gift from an ex-boyfriend. I had no intention of vlogging. I didn't even know what a vlog was when I got the camera. It's so old. But what I needed was this tripod. It's the JOBY Gorilla tripod. It's kind of signature for YouTubers. And so it was really the tripod, which was $50, but that's it. Like even before that, I was using my cell phone. I already have my laptop. iMovie is free. I use iMovie to edit all of my videos, which surprises people because, you know, it's just a free software, nothing fancy.
Windows
So,
has a similar.
one follow-up. So if I have a smartphone, I can start doing with you. I can start my vlog, daily vlog on my own.
Yes, and that's one of the things I really like to push and preach is that people already have the power, I guess, to do what I do in the palm of their hand, in the back pocket. You really don't need anything fancy. Honestly, there's the cell phones now are probably higher quality than this camera. It's that old. And I haven't needed to invest in other equipment just because, you know, I don't need to. I don't have to. And of course, there's the other side of the spectrum. Like my boyfriend, for example, Tom, he is, you know, video production tech nerd. So his equipment is completely just like super professional. He uses Final Cut Pro, which is, you know, the industry software. And his look and feel of his videos are different. But to me, it's whatever tools you want to use, but every day there is a story that people can share to make an impact on someone else. The only person holding you back is yourself. Like you don't, I had no idea what I was doing on day one. You could even watch that video. It took me 2 hours to film 4 minutes of dialogue. So.
Very good. You know, with 5.7K followers, do we have a $1 of the month club?
Oh, a what?
A $1 of the month club?
What's a $1 of the month club?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. You know, if you created I donate $1 a month through PayPal, I get something. And if you had 5.7K followers give you $1 a month, which isn't, I mean, that's not even a tip, you know?
Yeah. So funny that you mentioned that. And this is one of the most popular questions I get is like, how do you monetize off of YouTube? How do you make money? And all the questions with that. The platform that I plug at the very end of the Just Create More video, which is that kind of like montage of my 2 years, I plug the platform called Patreon. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I was over there.
It allows creators, not just with video, podcast, everything, to where you could set the levels of like, you know, if you donate $1 a month, you get an extra video every week, or you get a exclusive live stream just for you guys. And I have my Patreon set up, but I had to put it on pause because I started creating my online course, Zero to YouTube Hero, to teach people how to create thriving YouTube channels. So it's been a process for me to figure out, like, you know, what do my existing subscribers want from me? Like, what can I offer that like generates money? And like just me figuring out what entrepreneurship is. And it's really hard for me to, you know, client work, it's like the most money now. There's Patreon, which I can do to create more content. There's the online course, which you know, it's a full-time job to sell in itself. But yes, I do. I get the $1 of the month club. I get that. Well, it's set up.
You know, the program that you got, I was very impressed with it, all the different modules.
Mm-hmm.
You could take a sliver of a module each month and put that out. Well, not only helps to educate them, but it also helps to get them used to what you're selling.
Yes.
So a $1 of the month is a possibility. I'm sure Frank can come up with some ideas too, but I thought, wow, with that number of followers, $1 of the month, we ought to be focusing on a $1 of the month to keep you on coffee.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You should demand $1 from both of us. That's what you should demand.
Yeah.
Frank, you want to say anything else before I?
I'm reaching my wallet to get $1. Hold on.
You better be getting $1.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you talk about tagging your videos. How do you push your videos out?
So To me, there's kind of two ways that your videos can be discovered on YouTube specifically. So there's through the search engine discovery, and then there's just the old school way of word of mouth, telling people in person. On YouTube, I think what people don't realize is that YouTube is a search engine.
Yeah,
It's not a social. Yes, it's the second largest, and it's not a social media platform. It does get grouped in just because it is, a platform.
It's educational. It's kind of a ensemble of all of that. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So I think what people don't get, that when you upload a video to YouTube, it's, the people aren't just going to come flocking in and you're just going to get thousands of watchers overnight. You do have to play this search engine optimization game and tag your videos accordingly. So what I do is I use the most powerful tool on YouTube, which is the search bar. And I just type in, if I have an idea for a video, I type in what I think people would type in that's relevant to the content. And I just use those as tags.
Well, there goes back to Market Samurai, Frank. If you use the Market Samurai tool, you can find exactly what they're searching for and how the competition is against that. That's one thing. I noticed that you had a lot of doing my homework. I noticed that there's an awful lot, there's a plethora of free courses on having your own YouTube channel. That's your competition, so to speak. So as Frank always says, don't do what they do, be different, right? So what makes Heather's course different as opposed to me just going and taking a bunch of free stuff?
Two things. I think from my research, most of the courses that I've seen of people teaching you how to do YouTube channels is specifically about how to make money off of a YouTube channel, which I know that's a big goal for everybody. But for mine, that's not the main key point I convey, because I myself, yes, it is my main source of income, but that, that's not like the main thing that I'm getting out of it. That's not the main reward. So I don't want to, if you want to, make money off of YouTube, there's definitely, I took one. I took Video Ranking Academy. That was like $400. For me though, I want to show people how to share their story as authentically as possible. And I think what I do that other courses don't is that I'm actually doing that. So you'll go to someone, another YouTube teacher, and you'll go to their channel and it's just a bunch of tutorials. And that's great. Obviously they're giving out their free content. They're previewing, the paid content and stuff like that. But I'm very proud of the fact that you can go to my channel and you could see me crying. You could see me struggling with this issue. You could see me trying to figure out YouTube, even though I have a course on how to teach you how to do YouTube. But, I'm just super genuine and authentic, and just, telling everyone, hey, YouTube's still evolving. This is the new feature they came out with today, and here's how I think it's going to, make an impact on everybody. And I've just found that it's those, like you just showed my daily vlog that I did yesterday. Like that video didn't exist the day before. And I love that that is a real practical example of like, this is what I hope to teach you to do. You might be, completely different age, on the other side of the world, whatever, but I believe that everyone has a genuine story to share wherever they're sitting. And sometimes it's hard to talk about, but that's the stuff that people gravitate to, because someone else is struggling with what you're struggling with. And that's what I'm still working on the verbiage on like how to, that 30-second elevator speech, because share your story, spark your potential is just like, oh, that sounds really nice and like, rainbows and stuff. But compared to like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make thousands of dollars on your YouTube channel.
Well, that all changes. That's one of the big things too recently, is they changed the way monetization is, and it's really messed up a lot of people.
It did.
And there's part of the $1 of the month club. What's changed? What's changed that you need to know about on YouTube?
Yeah. The whole YouTube partner program, that whole thing caused such an uproar, but I'm so glad that they did it, because to me, it weeded out the creators that are there for the wrong reasons. The people who are just, literally downloading other people's content and uploading that. Yeah,
scamming it. Yeah. Plagiarism on video.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Frank, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, one thought. as I was listening to Heather and watching her videos and hearing about to use your term, Peter, the plethora of free YouTube, how to YouTube videos. And here's the analogy I got. You know, if you want to become just another vlogger, another YouTube person, there's a number of awesome free courses, and you're going to learn and sound and look just like everybody else. You'll be one of many. You'll be good, but you'll be one of many. You'll be a commodity. I don't teach that. I teach what I live. I teach you how to use YouTube to promote you and only you. There's no one else in the world like you. There are people who are looking for someone like you that they can connect with because they share what you share. They hurt what you hurt. They exhilarate what you exhilarate. And they're coming looking for you. My course teaches you how to attract people looking for someone just like you.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I try to convey because I have a friend, his channel is called James Lee, but he started his channel shortly after I did. And I worked with him to figure out the whole YouTube thing. But the reason why he started his channel in the first place is because he saw me sharing, that made him think like, hey, I could do something like that. Like, look how easy she makes it look. I could, she's just in her house. She's just in her office. Like I could do something like that. Well, James has already surpassed me in subscribers and view count. And his channel, what he does is he sits in front of the camera and he eats. He has a passion for food. He always has been a huge foodie. He's been a Yelp elite member for years and years. And he sits down and he has dinner with people and he talks about what he's eating, and it make the feeling that people get from watching his channel. It's so bizarre, but when you watch a video, you get it. The people feel like as if they're having dinner with him. It's like hanging out with a friend, eating with a friend. And there's no other YouTube course that would have taught him how to do that, because that is not a channel that would make money on paper, but because it was like, I showed him, hey, like, what are you passionate about? If it's food, then go with it. Like, go with that. And you don't have to do it the traditional ways of like, obviously, if you did it this way, this is going to make you the most money and you're going to get the most sponsors or whatever. I was like, just be as you can be, because, I'm your friend and I love you like this. So if you can convey that through the camera, that's what's going to hook people. And gosh, people sent him food from all over the world to try and eat on his channel. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
My 6-year-old grandson, you know what he wants to grow up to be?
A YouTuber.
A YouTube star.
Yeah.
So I got to get your course for him.
Yeah. And that's funny because I started out with a course. I've created a course before. I just didn't know how to market it and ran into a bunch of problems, but it was digital content creation for students. And it was completely catered to students. Like it's the same content that I teach in Zero to YouTube Hero, but the lingo is different. I kept saying things like, hey, go ask your teacher, go ask, for a letter of recommendation. And now I think for Zero to YouTube Hero, what I'm going to do is create a second sales page specifically for students, because I can't tell you how many people have been like, well, my 11-year-old, my 5-year-old, da-da-da. And I believe that instead of discouraging them from being a YouTuber, rather to hone in on the skills that they're building in creating a YouTube channel. That's everything from self-awareness to personal branding, to understanding what it means to have an online presence, to figure out how to convey your passion through a medium. I mean, there's so many other things that they will learn, which they can apply to whatever job they end up getting. I mean, like the chances of becoming a YouTube star, that's like you're going to be a triple platinum singer. But I would never discourage someone who has that passion to continue and chase it.
Well, let me share that screen if I can find it here of your course as we talk about this, because I think there's more to it that I want to cover. Here's your Spark Media page, and down here is your course, And I thought this was really smart and clever how you laid these things out in a step-by-step fashion. And I answered some of my questions even just to take a look at this. But this is something as self-paced that people can go all the way through. It's very nice. And I believe that every entrepreneur, every business person, I've got clients that need to go through this. Well, we have one in the Entrepreneurs Club, Misfits thing, meetup thing, definitely needs to know how to do all of this ultimately. And I just think this is so smart. And so not much rebranding has to be done,
Yeah, I think, I purposely did that because I think the people that are interested, who would be interested in taking this course, are very new to YouTube. Like I'm going for the complete newbies. Like I've never picked up a camera, and I think that they would appreciate, what does this mean? Like I've never uploaded a video. What does that even mean? Like, what is that process? So I wanted to show them, like, not only this is what you're getting for your money, but this is the journey that you're going to be going on.
Not to debate you, but I think that's wrong, because you have in here things even for seasoned people. Even if you know how to use a camera, do you know what a brand is? Developing your brand, your target audience. I mean, this is priceless stuff in here. And creating your strategy, how to tell your story. I mean, you can have a camera and you can blah 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 blah, and you can cut it up and put it up there. But this is the strategy behind everything. This is where the pedal, the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and you don't see this in other places. I haven't seen it anyway.
Yeah.
So it goes from newbie all the way to entrepreneurs and people that, a lot of people know how to put a camera, a chunk of video up on Facebook, but they don't know this stuff.
Yeah, I know. Going back to Tom, he's been making videos since forever, like editing using 2 VCRs. And like I said, he's a digital media production teacher. I mean, that's what he teaches. But even he, uploading and building an online audience and doing the whole YouTube thing is a completely different
It's
monster.
marketing. It's marketing that they do not have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that starts to show a huge difference. And you're not talking about how to make $1,000 a minute either. Now, I'm the first one to tell you can't feed yourself unless you're starting to think like that. What it is, and who's going to send some money, some joy towards your direction. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's called capitalism, not communism.